Let me help you transform this particular data and create something like this to update your portfolio. Here is an Excel dashboard I built, to help you understand how to use AI. This particular dashboard is 99% human, creation. So what AI did, like the Claude, writing here, this is Claude in Excel. You might not have access to it if you don't have the premium, access. So, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how to use GPT for free to get this particular data cleaned and transformed into something like this inside this particular class. You understand? So, before we even start creating, let us quickly look at what exactly we have to look at before we start, dropping charts and as well KPIs. So you have to read through all of this right in here. And most importantly, it says, please build it off pivot table so that it can actually refresh immediately and all of that. And it has given us the kind of layout that, they really want. So it's very important. Read through that and then get back here, get the data and actually create some couple of pivot tables and now analyze the data and create something as clean as this. If you want to learn this, just follow me step by step. No paid version of any AI tools is involved. And I've told you earlier, we're going to actually, depend on our human knowledge more than AI, but AI is going to actually help us to write all those insight and the transformation and cleaning. You can do that for free with GPT. If you're ready, let me just take you into the class. Let's do it now. If you look at the data that we have right in here, it's not 100% clean, so we have to clean this particular data. A lot is wrong with this particular data. So those of you that are not using, the paid version of Claude, just like us, I'm using the paid version right now. So what you need to do is just to make sure you actually do it in a different way. So go ahead and actually open up Power BI. If you already have Claude connected to Power BI, load the data into Power BI and actually ask Claude to actually use Power Query in Power BI to have it cleaned for you. That is another way. So another way you can actually use to clean this particular data is by using GPT, which is you have to load this directly to GPT. So over here, as you can see, I said, I want you to help me clean and transform this data. Create a new sheet for the clean data and name the sheet clean data. Yeah, name the sheet cleaned data. So now I can go ahead and run this. So you have to actually pay attention to here because, Claude will be asking you some couple of questions and even needing you to actually say allow or disallowed. So you don't just have to close this and feel like it's going to work, and get it done on its own. But nevertheless, let me go ahead and actually show you another way to do it. Even with free GPT, you can actually have this particular data clean. So we have to copy this one away from here. Now we have to collect the data and bring it right in here. If I open up this particular part right now, here is my data. I think we don't even have to change anything right here. So just go ahead and actually run this. So although I'm using a paid version for GPT, but a free version will definitely do this same thing I'm doing right now. It's just that you might actually run into your credit to be some kind of exhausted and stuff like that, but it's gonna work, right? Now, just give it some time. Let's get back to Excel. Over here, we have to actually look at this. How should I handle the impossible out of range value? About age negative, okay? So do you want to flag them or blank them out? So in my own case, I'm going to say blank them out. So which means there are some invalid, age. Like -4 here is an invalid age. It's even something that we can see. You understand? So there are so many inconsistency in the data. So you just have to read through it and allow it or disallow it. It depends on what you really want to have. Now, as you can see, we have a new sheet here. So it will populate this particular sheet right now with new data from our raw data. Can you look at it right now? So it says Claude wants to execute Office.js. Just click on Allowed. We have downloaded this particular one, so you can just go ahead and actually have it boomed inside Excel and take a look at exactly what it is that GPT has done, and we compare it to the one we have inside Cloud AI, like the Cloud in Excel rather. So if we come over here right now, let's go to 18. So here comes the difference here. Under 18, GPT was able to fix the date. You get it right now, fix the date. Or if we go over to the one that we have inside Excel, let's scroll to this end. Excel have it removed. You get it. That was because of the instruction we gave to the Claude in Excel to actually, have something done for us. You understand? So Excel have it removed. So not because of that, there is something that you have to consider. If you read through what Claude has, went through to get this done, there are some people that was kind of discharged, before even the admission date. So for that, Claude is smart enough to actually know that, even though if we don't give it that particular prompt to do that for us. So over here, you can see that GPT did not, consider all that, and GPT went ahead and fixed all the date for us. You understand? So we still have some part of it that GPT actually took off, which is fine and okay. And here, can you see now? It correlates a lot with what GPT, or what Claude in Excel has actually done. So nicely done, we have all of this. And here we can see it takes off something from there. If we go back to Claude now, the one Claude has actually cleaned for us, and we go over here, you can see exactly. So we use the same exact prompt in both GPT and Claude in Excel, and we have this as, nice result. So what do we do next? If you look at this right now, here is dynamic. This particular table here is linked to this particular table because it's now a formula-based table, right? Linked to our raw data. So if I double click over here right now, you can see some formula behind it. That is what pulls data from this table to here and make it very clean. Okay, now we are good to go. It is time for we to just say we want to convert this one to a table, and we click on OK, so we have an official table to work with. So we already have analysis right here where we can actually start analyzing our data. Before we start analyzing, you have to go back to this particular PDF again and read through this and understand what is going on here and what you can do and what are the insights you can actually bring out of it. Remember, it is not all the insight that's needed to be drawn from the data that is being pulled into this particular PDF. You just have to think outside the box, which is very important. So going over to my text file here, you can see I have pulled in some couple of KPIs I really want to see on the dashboard. So I have 7 KPIs here and I have 7 different charts, and there's something very simple and it's easy. Let me show you how to get it done. So the first thing is going to be the encounter. Encounter means how many times people actually visit the hospital, and we have distinct patient here. The difference between these particular distinct patients here is just that over here we have duplicate of a patient visiting over and over again. Maybe one patient might actually visit the hospital for 3 times in a week or in a month or in a year. So it will be counted 3 over here, while this particular one is giving us a distinct count of how many patients we've had over time. So we have the average wait time and average length of stay, average satisfaction, readmission rate, and recovery rate. How do we get this done? And let's go back to our data. So now we're going to be using the clean data here. Now the very first thing to calculate over here is calculating this particular encounter. How do we do that? It's easy. So I already have my analysis sheet. Go over to clean data and quickly go to the top ribbon here and go over to insert. So insert will help you inside a pivot table. So maybe the question you might have right now is that why are you not using Claude to actually get this done for you? You know, the time I will spend doing it and the time Claude will spend doing it, mine sometimes is faster than Claude because Claude is just going to take time to evaluate and stuff like that, and I know what I want, so I don't have to do that. Plus, I'm doing this because of people that do not have access to paid version of Claude. You understand? So if you're not a premium member, there is no way you can use Claude. So if we still have to be on the same page, I have to show you how to do it without using Claude to do it and still utilize AI after all. I'm going to show you how to utilize AI, and even those of you that have access to Claude, how you can still use Claude to achieve X, Y, and Z right in here. So right now I'm going to actually pull in any of these particular, ID here. I'm going to pull in encounter ID into this particular part here, and it defaults into this particular number right here for me. You see it now? So what we have here is a count. So we can decide to change the name now to what? To total encounter. So now it has changed. So we can actually add more than this right in here. So the next thing we have to do right now is to actually say, okay, we want to actually add the distinct, but right now we are going to actually make that stay first. So we're going to be looking for wait time. So wait time in minutes, we drag it into here. So once we have it into here, we just have to click over here, then go over to average and click on OK. So that gives you the average right in here. You can actually quickly, format it. So do this. And if I come over here to number, I do comma separator, but comma separator isn't good for our average. So what do? We have to format our average separately. Can you see it now? So we just do control 1 and we actually add one decimal number to it. So which is actually interesting, right? Okay, the next thing we have to do right now is to bring in our average length of stay. So length of stay over here. So once we have it in here, the next thing we have to do right now is to actually average it, which I'm going to do later after all. But for now, let it be like this right in here. So we just have to go over here, we choose average length of stay. We just need to do 2 decimal number. So for the title, don't worry about it. We're going to fix it later. So satisfaction is what we need to pull in right now. So if you have Claude, please use Claude to do this and test it out to see how fast it is. So satisfaction score, we're going to average that as well. So, okay, now we have pulled it into the wrong part. So here we go, we have it here. So let's click over here, turn this into an average. So the average should always be in a decimal number. So we choose one decimal number, 3.7. That is cool. Then don't worry, we're going to do magic here to make it better. Right now, I don't like what I'm saying. So we have to bring in readmission, which is very important. And that readmission is going to be in percentage. So how do we actually get that done? What we can do right now is to copy this whole pivot table from here and paste it right in here, and you take off every single thing you have right in here, exclude the encounter here. So once we have done that, we have to understand something over here. So we have to locate where we have yes and no column. So we go over here, we are here. So readmitted within 30 days, if it is yes or if it is no. This is the column we need to actually get it done. So what we can do right now, we just have to go back to analysis, and now we pull that readmission here, readmission into here. So right now, if we have to calculate our, readmission, we have to do it over here. It's going to be a KPI. So we call this one, what should we call it? I think it's going to be readmission. So now, what do we do to get this done? We're going to actually take this particular number here and divide it by this particular number. And once we hit our enter key, we just do Ctrl+1 and we go into percentage. And here we go, we have gotten our readmission rate right in here. Can you see how easy it is right now? You don't have to use AI for everything. Please let us retain our memory. Don't lose it to AI. Do it all by yourself. It's first sometime. You get it? Quick one, before we continue this particular class, let me just tell you that, knowing how to analyze data using Power BI, Tableau, Python, Looker Studio, Excel, or any other tool is not really enough. You need to know how to make the money. And that is why I have actually combined this particular class together, where I show you 8 proven ways I have actually used to make money, and I'm still making money up till now every single day. If you want to actually learn how to make money as a data analyst, just go ahead and pick up this particular course. I'm going to show you how I answer business questions and every single way to actually make yourself to be visible, because you can't make money without being visible. You need to be visible to make money. So this course will definitely teach you that, specifically if you don't have a job yet. Even if you have a job and you're trying to look for a side hustle, this course is for you. Let's get back to the class. Now we have to copy this again, and we paste this one over here. So this time around, we are going to calculate what is called, I think it's recovery rate. Let me find out if that is true, if we have it here. Yeah, recovery rate here. We have to calculate that. To calculate that right now, I'm going to paste it right in here. So we need the column to actually help us with that. So we have to go back to our clean data here and outcome. So when we go to outcome, we have several outcomes here. Dive, improved, left against advice, recovery. Yeah, we're trying to calculate our recovery rate right in here. So we go straight up to this particular part again. So we search for outcome. So now cancel and make sure you take this one away from where it is. So when something is beneath the pivot table and the pivot table wants to spill down, it always brings a problem. So maybe the question you might be asking right now is that, why do I put this over here? And why do I have a pivot table here, a pivot table here? So when you know that your pivot table is not going to grow vertically, you can put in that pivot table, beneath it. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't even add a text to it under the pivot table. So if you know your pivot table is going to grow horizontally, don't put that pivot table closer to it right in here. Always use a new sheet if that is the case. But in my own case, those pivot tables don't grow, vertically. So this one can grow, horizontally. So for that, I'm not going to put that pivot table right in here. So I'm just going to click on this one right now. I've taken this one off. So let's do it again. What was that again? I forgot. Too much tech. Well, we're talking about outcome, right? So we go for outcome, bring outcome in. So here is our outcome. So I can actually bring this one now beneath here. So the best way to actually make sure whoever comes at the back end finds something good to look at is just for you to click on your pivot table, go over to this particular design part here, and go over to report layout and click on tabular form. Then do the same thing to this particular one. Look at it, row labels. That is crazy, it's not cool. Go over here now and click over design, then go straight up to this particular report layout and show the outcome is here. So somebody can tell now what we are looking at. So to calculate this now, what we can do is just to look at this recovered rather, and divide that by the total, encounter. So this will give us like the percentage. Here we go. So I want to use the full percentage. Here we go. We have this. All right, how many KPIs do we still have left to be created? It's very important, keep track of it. Let's go over here. Let's minimize this. Let's bring this over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So which one is the 7th one? Recovery, we have done that. Readmission rate, we have done that. And average length of stay, we have done that. So distinct patients here, we have not done it. This is the only KPI left. So right now, I'm thinking, let me just paste this one over here for the time being. So go ahead and copy this and let's see how we can actually create that particular one. It's a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So over here now, we just have to make sure we take off this one here. We take off this one here, we don't need it, but we can bring it later after all to check something and be sure of what you're doing. So bring your encounter ID into here, right? So once you bring this into here, all you have to do is to put an equal sign here and do count A. So if I hit my enter key right now, this is counting this for me, right? So click back on it. I'm trying to, okay, let us do patient ID rather. Got it, patient ID over here. Now, don't do encounter ID here. Do patient ID. Patient ID is the unique one. You get it right now. It's the unique one. So I don't know if we can actually still do this. I'm trying to verify. I love taking risks sometimes. I don't know. I'm not going to present this if it does not give me what I want. So we have what to call unique. So unique is a function in Excel that you can use to actually check something over here. Oh, yeah, it works. So what I'm trying to do right now, after I've used unique over here, I'm going to try to look at how I can actually say count A, and Control Shift down arrow, hit my enter key, and let's see if it returns what I want. No, it doesn't. So which means it doesn't work. So unique cannot work right here. So we have to take off this one, delete this one. Okay, now come over here now and take off this and bring in this, and you have this unique list of your patients here. Those are all the patients that has visited our, hospital, not the 5,000 we have right in here. I hope you get that right now. To prove that's right or wrong, just always go ahead and try to find out if that is true. So we have pulled in the encounter ID there. So right now for the encounter ID, we have to use some function to just check it out. And if I highlight here right now, and I do this now, I have 10,000. So let's do down arrow. Can you see the reason why we are having 10,000? Maybe your mind will be telling you like, why do we have 10,000? Do we have 10,000 rows? We don't have 10,000 rows, but we have just 5,000. So the grand total was some kind of add up, which is something weird. So to make sure you correct this right now, in case you want to use this, what you can do is to right click over here and just go over to where it says remove grand total. Do we have that? No. Do we have it? Do we have it? Do we have it? If you can't find it easily right in here, we can find it. Let us go to the text base here. Right click right now over here. So we should have, what the heck is going on? It's not here. So go over to the top ribbon, go to design, come over here and turn off this. Now you have this number. This number is how many visits you've had. This one is the unique list of people that actually visited us, which simply means we have some people that visited more than twice, 3, or whatever it is. Just like what we have right in here, this particular person here visited 3 times and stuff like that. I'm just trying to show you every single thing you need to know. Not just creating visuals, you have to understand what you are creating, which is something very important. Okay, after this, we have just gotten our KPIs created. So what is next? It is time to go into chart part, right? Before we even start visualization, we have to get everything ready first. Don't forget to save your work. It's very important. Please do that. To create all the charts, let us actually go ahead and call this one just KPIs. Okay, so once we have done that, we open a different sheet right now and we call this sheet charts. So you can come over to this particular part here and actually create a different pivot table. But the problem with that is that we have what to call, I'm thinking. Okay, the problem with that is that we have what to call pivot cache. So it's got to be disconnected from our KPI right in here. So for we to keep our pivot cache in one, we have to copy the existing pivot table from here into that particular part. Then the pivot cache should be 1. So maybe you don't know what pivot cache is all about. You have to make your research. It's actually what makes your slicers to be connected to every single pivot table you have created. You understand? So if I place a slicer on my dashboard, I want every single pivot table, every single KPIs and charts to be updated automatically as I click on the slicer. So if you want that, just copy, don't create a new one. Otherwise, the pivot card should be disconnected. So now we have this right in here. What do we do first? Let's go over here and take a look at what we want to create. So we want some kind of a bubble chart that will actually give us wait time versus satisfaction by department. You get it right now. So how do we get this created? It's easy. So for the first time, I'm going to just go ahead and actually copy this particular part here and put it on this particular part as my title. That will help me to remember exactly what I'm trying to get into. So for the very first time, what we need to do is just to go over here and take off this very one here. This is the total encounter. It's okay, we can have it here. So we just have to bring in department into it, and now we have our department, right? So we want to get our average, wait time. So wait time here. Don't worry about that. Just shift it, and it's going to come first. Please make it come first. And the next thing now is going to be the satisfaction, right? Satisfaction score here. Don't worry about that. Make it come second. Okay. The encounter comes, last. So over here, just make sure you turn this one into average. Turn the satisfaction into average too. This will enable us to create the kind of chart we want to create. So you might want to just select, this one alone and just make sure it's on one decimal number. That shows the average properly. Okay, we have this. So we can remove the grand total from here. Right click and we can find it. Remove grand total. It's gone. Now we have something like this. So this is what we want to have. The question you might be asking right now is that, will this actually help us get what we want to achieve achieved? Let's try. Just go over to insert over here and click on this particular bubble and click over here. So we can't insert it on a pivot table. So what do? We have to create a different table for it. So for that, we can actually have this one hidden. Then come over here right now and just equals and create an array. When you highlight this particular range here, you have just created an array. So it will spill everything down right in here for you. You get it right now. So you can actually take off average from here. That is Control H. So take anything that has to do with average off away, then just go ahead and say replace all. Now it makes it shorter and clearer to be read. Okay, now that we have gotten this right now, we can expand this. Okay, so you can actually fix this by just doing Control 1 and going over to this number and click on OK. So once you have done that now, do you think selecting this particular area and going over here will help us to create this particular chart? It looks weird. That is number one chart that is wrong, and this is the right chart we ought to have used. And that chart you can actually go ahead and use right now is going to be this chart family. So which is going to be, we going over to insert here and click over here and choosing to use this one. Can you see now? It's not readable. So how do we get this created? It's very simple and easy. So for the very first time, I'm going to just go ahead and insert a blank, bubble chart. You understand? So come over here. So it's a scatter plot. You can call it bubble, depends on what you want. I want to go for this particular one here. So it's blank. Once we have this here right now, we have to populate our chart. Then right click quickly and go over to this particular select data. So once you're here, click on add. And now we can actually add the first, axis. Don't add anything right in here. No, don't do that. So just come over here and add this very column. Yeah, this column is okay. Add it. And come over here and take off what you have in here and add this particular satisfaction. That's beautiful. So if you look at it right now, it's not making sense yet. It's not making any damn sense. So what we can do is just to take off this one and bring in this very part here. So how about this? You see this now? So now we have series name. You might be tempted to actually come and use this particular part here. Once you do that, you're gonna have something like this, which is weird. So please take it off. Let it be blank and click on OK. Then click on OK. Delete this one from here. We don't want that. Can you see it now? You see that? This is exactly what we truly want to see, and we have just gotten this right away. So what I'm going to do right now is just to go over here and let's do title. Yeah, chat title here. So we have to go back here now and copy this. So once we have it, so here we go, we have this. Now I'm thinking of adding a subtitle to it. Let's see if that can be possible here. Okay, I have gotten this done and it's too much. I'm gonna highlight this particular part here and see if I can just reduce this one alone. Yeah, it's working for me. Beautiful. I just want to make it italic. And later after all, we can polish it. But right now, this is what we want. So add subtitle to your chart is always cool. You get it right now. So this is exactly what it is that we want to have. This is our fourth chart. Let us have it hang around here for the time being. If we go back to here now, we can see we have patient by encounter, like patient encounters by month. So, which is very easy. We have to copy the pivot table we have right in here now, take it up to this particular part and paste it right in here. So what we can do is just to quickly right click and bring in the show field list. So we take off all the satisfactions and the wait time here. We take off department, we have to bring in month. The month is not going to be the discharged month, it's the admission month. That is the month they came in, right? So we bring this over here. So once you have this right now, what we can do is to right click and go over to this particular part where it says group. Sorry, we don't have to use on group, we have to use group. So we go over to group. So now it's telling us that we cannot group this. So what is going on? Let's quickly go ahead and take a look at our column and make sure it's on a date. So highlight the column. Let's go over here, go to home, and it's on general. So let us go quickly and put it on a short date. So now it has been fixed for us. So with that, you can save your work and make sure you always keep up to date. So once we get back to chart area, now we can right click and we can just click on refresh. That will actually refresh it and give us the new update. So once we right click right now, we can click on group. So still can't get that done for us. Let us remove it. And over here, I am just trying to bring this back in. So not working yet. Oh, what the heck is going on? Let us go ahead and group again. Now, the question I want to ask you right now is that if you encounter something like this, what will you do? Do you have to give up? We can actually ask AI to assist us right in here, but what if I told you that I don't want to do that? Instead, I just want to actually make sure I come up with an idea on how to get it done. Let's find out. So I'm going to come over here now. What I needed is month. I am going to actually insert a new column in between here. So your Control Shift plus sign will actually insert quickly a new column for you. So we call this one month. So once we call it month, we use the format function, or we can use the month function over here. Let's see what we get. If I hit my enter key, it gives me something like this. So for that, let me just use go, I think, okay, let me just use the format function here. So format function is in Power BI. So let us use the text function. The text function will work here. So text value this, we close, we hit our enter key. So now we have what we really wanted to see. Can you see how swift and easy it is right now? We have gotten what we wanted. So what do? We get back into chart here. So we take off this particular one because we don't need you right now. So we can just go ahead and actually refresh this. That will actually bring in the new column we have added, which is this one. And here we go, we have it. So we have 81 of these not to actually be accounted for. Like, we don't know what month it belongs to. What can we do with this right now? It's blank, so we have to filter it off. But we're going to actually take this into account when we start writing our report, just to tell the management that 81 persons did not fill in their proper date. So don't miss that. Let's go ahead and tick off this one here and click on OK. Now we will have this. So we have two options to get this visualized. So if you click over here and you click on suggest, you have this. And this for me now is better. So you can actually choose to go by a line chart or an area chart. It's still cool for you. But in my own case, I want to go for this particular one right in here. This is what I want to use. So I have gotten this right in here. So we can go straight up to this particular part and bring this. Click over here. So once you have done this, you have to just make sure you do this. And this one is going to be our subtitle. We reduce it. Okay. For the time being, we keep it at this. Right click and have this one's hidden, and as well hide this one and take off this particular one. For this one, we just take it off. So now we have this. Now we have to copy this particular pivot table here. Copy and paste it over here. So before you paste, ask yourself this question. Will this particular pivot table grow horizontally and even bump into this one? If yes, please shift it or use a new sheet. You get it? But this one now, no. To grow vertically, it's even no, because we have it ended at December, except you want to add year that will make sure you have 2 years that has two different months, and it will grow vertically. But for now, we are good to go. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is just to go over here and take a look at what is next. Next here is going to be encounter by location, which is something very simple. Let's do this. So all we have to do is just to take off this particular one here, and we'll bring in our location into it. So once we have done that, we just have to visualize this quickly. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to use the chart I want to use right now. If you actually ask this to suggest chart for you, it will get it wrong. Yes, I said it. So now, what happened there is that this particular system does not know your space limitation. So for that, it went ahead and suggested you this particular kind of chart. And it's bad for you to have a slanted, categorical values just like this one. So what do you do? Let me show you. Go back over here now and click on this particular design here. I'm going to change chart type and let's go straight up to this particular bar chart. And click over here and here you go, you have this. Can you see it now? The next thing you can do is to actually make sure you click over to this axis here and you control 1, then you do categories in reverse order. So once you have done that, you just have to make sure you click on this one and right click and do sort largest to smallest. So that will actually start it rightly for you. So the next thing now is to just go ahead and take off this, right click and have this one's hidden. Then just push this one off and this particular lines should be gone. So now we just have to go ahead and paste in this. And next is for we to actually add, the subtitle. So you see that now? We're going to take care of the formatting later after all, but for now, this is what we need to have right in here. So we can quickly copy this particular one from here and make sure you paste it down, but ask yourself this question before you paste it down. Will this particular pivot table here grow to this end? No. So we go straight up to this particular part here right now and by department. Right. So by department, paste it over here. What do? We just take off this one and we'll bring in our department. So we create our chart. So this chart is of no difference from the previous one. We just have to go ahead and insert. Let's go over here. We know the chart we want. We go with this one. And we just have to click over here and go ahead and sort largest to smallest. The next thing now is to click on this one here and categories in reverse order. So hope I'm not too fast. Yeah, you have that. So right click right now and go straight up to this particular part and have it hidden. Then take off this one and take off this very one. And quickly on this particular total, double click on it and here you go. Now we're going to do for patients by age band here, which is the age group. So what we can do right now is to locate where we have it written. So we have patient age, and as you can see, they're just numbers. So what can we do? We can just right click over here and see if we can group them. So once we click on group, cannot group this particular selection. So what we can do right now is to use a different system to actually have this grouped. So I'm going to group from 0 to 10, right? So right click and click on group. That has been grouped for you. Then once done now, the next thing you have to do here is 10 stop. So you start from here. This one now will be 11 to 20. So you just right click over here and you group. Cannot group the selection. So yeah. So let us have this one hidden. So now we have 11 to 20. We just right click and group. So we have grouped that. Have this one hidden. So 21 to 30. So you can actually go ahead and group this as well. So that is our third group. So we're trying to create 4 groups. 4 groups. So I'm going to take off this particular third group over here. So I have 2 groups right now. So I'm sorry for that. Let's take it from the scratch. I'm going to do just to 15. You understand? So that I can actually break it down into just 5 places, 5 buckets. So we just go ahead and group this. So once we group this now, we can actually say, okay, here we go, 15. Now 16 starts from here. 16 starts from here. So we take it to 30, right click, we group. You understand? You can actually compress it. So 31 to 45. So we go ahead and group. So now 46 to 55. Then we go ahead and group this. So we have gotten how many? 4 groups. So the remaining one should be grouped together. So we just select this particular one now and we group them all together. You get it right now. So we group. So the 5th one is here. So we have just this group. So right click, Control Z rather. So we just have to set the 5th one. So we regroup this 5th one again. We have not included a particular part of it. So down to here, we have to group it. So right click now and click on group. So it has been grouped. Everything has been grouped in one place. So this particular group here is not healthy. So we need to know what and what we have here. So this particular one now should be 0 to 15. So how do we rename it? Do we have anything called rename here? We don't have rename right in here. So what do? We have to rename. So if I go ahead and take off this particular one right now, I only have groups right in here. So the next thing I can do right now to rename it is just for me to say, okay, I have Ctrl Z so that we can take a look at what we have right in here. 0 to 15, I'm going to create 0 to 15 over here. Then this one, so we can't spell it. So we have to make sure we come over here and drop this over here. So we just drop down 16 to 30. We come over here and create 16 to 30. You see that now? So this one is going to be 31 to 45. So we choose 31 to 45. Then the next one here is 46 to 55. 46255. So we have to properly align it together. So the last one here is going to be 56 plus. So we can do 56 plus. Can you see how easy it is right now? So which simply means if I have to create my chart right now, this will help me to get my chart created, right? I can push this over here. And now I'm going to do something. I'll bring in my gender into the column area to have something like this created. So should there is any spill that needs to be here, I can actually remove this one, or still, there's no point of keeping the patient here. So I still have this now, right? So we can decide to push this one over here. Once we have it over here now, what we can do is just select this. Remember, this particular one can be removed. Right click and you see where it says removed. Grand total is gone. So over here now, we can just go ahead and display this particular part here. Can you see? Now, here we go. We can create the kind of chart we want to create with this. Can you see how easy it is? Without you writing a single function to get it done, with pivot table, you can actually have it done. So our choice of chart is this particular one right in here. This is what we want to actually see. So take off this particular axis right in here. And let's go ahead and bring this title into it. Now we have to clean up this, and this is what we have right here, right now. Okay, let's see how many charts we have to go. We have just these 2 charts to go. So it's 1 chart, but 2 in 1. So very simple and easy, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Then we call it a day, and we start going over for visualization. That is where the joy actually comes in. This next one is very easy. Just go ahead and copy your pivot table right in here, paste it down, just remove one particular thing and the whole thing is yours. So let's quickly go straight up to the pivot table itself. All you have to remove is this one and replace this one right in here. So once you have done that, you can actually bring in this particular encounter here again. And this time around, we have to convert this one to some kind of show value as percentage of grand total. You see this right now? This is what we have. So we can actually create it all by ourselves by doing this equals, and we do this and we click on OK. So here we just call this one PCT. I'll just call this one remainder. Let me show you how to do this. So let's go take this one divided by the sum of this whole, F4 key to lock it down, then hit your enter key and copy it down. That will give you the same thing like this one here. Just Control 1 and go ahead and do this. No decimal number. Here we go. We have the same exact thing. That was what, pivot table did behind the scene to get this. So now, if you take 100 from this particular number, what is left? You have 35. And if you take 100 from this number, you have 65 again. So let's do 100% over here. We subtract it from this number. And once we hit our enter key, can you see what we have right now? Okay, this is what we're going to use to actually have the 2 charts created. For the first one, highlight this particular top, go over here. And now let us go over to here and click over here. And let us click on this one. Then we just go ahead and reduce this. So take off the female, take off this one here. So you're left with this right in here. So once you have this right now, you have to resize it. For the time being, I'm going to keep it at 1. And we continue this when we start creating our dashboard. Because right now, until I actually measure my dashboard space, I don't want to create this further. So come over to your dashboard environment, just create a new sheet and name it dashboard, and go to the top ribbon here and make sure you click on view. From view, turn off formula bar, headings, and grid line. So for the formula bar, we're going to be turning it on and off. It depends on what we want. And make sure when this particular one is on this particular kind of settings, So just go over here and click on auto ribbon. That will actually show you something like this. So once you have gotten something like this, the next thing you have to do is to convert this into a dark color. So just select all cell by doing Ctrl A and go over here now and come over here and do something like this. Okay, now this is dark, right? Okay, the next thing we have to do right now is just to come over to insert now, go to illustrations, shapes, and pick up this particular rounded rectangle and you drag it like this. Okay, so let's do this and keep this right here. So we have what we call white space. This particular darker part of it here is a white space. So we're going to go straight up to here and fill it up to this level here. For the sake of slicers, I'm going to take my card up a little bit and I have a space here for my slicers. The rendered corner shouldn't be too much, just reduce it. And now we can control 1. So with our control 1, go over to this particular part here. And line, no line. The fill color, click on here, click on more colors. And over here, we just want to use E1, E1. So if I click on OK now, this is what I have. I believe you know the color I've used right now. Let me go back again and show you what I've used. So E1, 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 E for egg. That is what I've used to change it to this particular color. So once we have this right now, let us count how many KPIs we have. We have 7 KPIs. So how can we fit 7 KPIs in here? It's easy. Double this one by Ctrl D and reduce it and bring it over here. Ctrl 1, change the color to white. Interesting. So now reduce it. Increase the rounded corner. Keep it around here. Let there be a white space around it. So for the first time, you just duplicate it and make sure you have 7. So our 7 is completed. And we still have extra space. So we just have to do this. Now, do this again. So we just want to have nice spacing like this, which is cool. So we have completed our 7 again. So I can just add a little to it. So once I've done that now, I'm going to go over to the top ribbon, the circle here, hold my shift key to drag a perfect circle like this. So once I've done that, I'm going to come over to here now and move this one and keep it somewhere around here for icon. Then let's click over here and choose the same thing as our background. Can you see now? So the next thing I'm going to do is to hold my control key and select both of them and have them grouped. So now I can just go ahead and duplicate this. Keep this over here. So once I've done that now, I'm going to shift this one over here. This spacing should be the same thing here. So hold my control key to select all of them. Once I've done that, go to the top ribbon, shape format, align to the top, then distribute horizontally. So now, there we go, we have this. Okay, what do we do next? It's very easy. I'm going to bring in my KPIs here. So those are the KPIs name I have, right? So I'm thinking of taking off this one to be very easy for me this way. Then typing it one after the other. So no numbers. I've taken those numbers off. So sorry, highlight this area, copy. Let's go to KPI environment. I'm going to paste this right in here. So I have this. Can you see now? Always save your work, it's important. So once we have this now, we go to the top ribbon, we go to insert, we click on this, and we click on this. So we just drag this over here. So now we open up this particular one, the formula bar. So put an equal sign here, and we pick up the first one, which is this, right? So it's on F24 or 24 rather. So we just have to increase this size and make it a bit bigger. So I'm going to put it at the bottom here. So we choose to use a particular color that is not that popped. Go with this one. Okay, so you can see I have some kind of rounded corner, outline rather. So we take it off. It's gone. Now we can decide to duplicate it. Ctrl Z. And we do 30. Don't tell me you don't know what I've done here. Let's get back to KPI. You see this one here, F24, F25, down to F30. That was why I did that. So going back over here right now, we can click on this one and double click on this and apply it. You see how fast and swift it is. Okay. The next thing you have to do right now is to take your time to bring in your cards, like your KPI cards, your KPI value rather. So just do this. Equals. Now bring the first value in here. So once we have brought it in, we can increase the size. If you look at it right now, we have all the KPIs right in here. But what if I tell you that this is not right? This is not right. Those two here, we have to do something about them. So maybe your question will be like, what again are we going to do about them? But we have numbers right in there. So what we're supposed to do is to make sure this one is giving us minutes, this one's giving us days. Like days. So average wait time, we go over to the KPI. Here is our average wait time over here. What we can do right now is to use the text function here to say, okay, I'm going to convert this one into a decimal number, 0.0. Once you've done that, you close this, and ampersand here, inside here we type in MRN for minutes, and we close, we hit our enter key, we have this. Can you see it now? So we don't have proper spacing on it, so we just have to give here a space before we type in the MRN. So we have this. The next thing now is going to be the satisfaction. Here, we want to work on the satisfaction, which is this particular one. So it's 3.7 over 5. So we just do the same thing. Text function, we bring in this one here, comma, 0.0. We close, and we do ampersand /5. So we close. You see that now? Interesting. The next thing I want to do here is going to be length of stay. This one here. So this one here, length of stay is going to be text function as well. We reference this. So it's going to be 0.0. 0.0. Then we close the ampersand here, put this, we get this. All right, here we go. We have to replace all of this with the previous one. So average wait time. Length of stay. Oh, no, sorry for that. I just messed it up. Average wait time, length of stay. satisfaction. That is final. So let us look at how beautiful it will look right now. It's not all about the beauty, it's about the message. Yeah, it's beautiful, but the message is clear. So click on this one, stretch it. You see this now? The message is clear. So we're going to bring in some couple of icons into this later after all, but for now, we have just arrived at what we really wanted to have right in here. So we can go ahead and actually turn off this one and have a lot of space right in here to display what we want to have. Now it is time for we to start bringing our charts. So I can actually go ahead and duplicate this one, reduce the size, the height should be reduced. So Ctrl 1, let's go over to the color area and bring in this particular color, dark color into it. So there are several dark colors here. I want to go with this particular one. It's cool, right? This is what I chose. Can you see it over here? All right, so once we have this right now, we're gonna make sure we reduce and we get something like this. So we have 7 charts. I can quickly create this with my 7 charts, right? So when I have a little rounded corner on it, and the spacing here is quite okay. You get it now. So I'm going to duplicate this one and bring it over here. Then for this one, Ctrl 1, come over here and select this color. So you see that now? So let us go ahead and create something like this over here for the time being and duplicate it, bring it in. Okay, we go ahead and do this. Bring this down here. So go over here and move this up a little bit. So we move this closer to it. Move this up a little bit. Take your time to actually get it done. Then bring this like this here. So we can adjust things later after all, but for now, we have something like this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, once I have this right now, I'm going to reduce this particular one and duplicate it and keep this over here. Then duplicate this one and keep this over here. So now, duplicate this one and keep this over here. So for this one, I'm going to make it white. Can you see what I've done here? Let's save your work I said earlier. Okay, we have this right now. We have this. It is time for us to bring in our charts. This is great, right? The very first chart I'm going to bring in was the first chart I created. So go over here. Let us copy this. Ctrl X to copy. And over here, we paste. We can bring this right in here. And we do this. So Ctrl 1, we turn off every single thing here. This here, that's that. It is something. Not bad, but I want to keep this at almost 90. 96, and let's see. Interesting. So we'll keep this at 96. Keep this as well at 96. Okay, we have it. You see this particular axis here? They're very important. So the first thing we have to do to it is just to come over here and choose to show it in a very bright color. You see this now? Click on this one. That is it. So the next thing we have to do right now is to click over this one and change it to this. So once you have done that, click over here and choose to bring in this particular axis title. So for this one, so here we go. This particular axis I just added right now will guide people through this particular chart. You don't just create, you just have to make sure you tell the story. So now I might want to group this into different, if you hover over it right now, you can see, here we go. We have eternity. Over here, we have all of them written here. So what do? You can come over to here and turn on data label. So once you have done that, I might want to change the color over here individually. Now, those are the colors I want to have right in here. Then we have to go ahead and bring in our other charts, like this particular one here. You can see how many charts here. You can see these 3 charts here. So let's all stick them to a dashboard environment. Then once we are here, paste them in. Okay, we have 2 more charts to be brought in. See these two charts here? They're very important. So their color is different. So we just have to pay attention, please. So fix this one and make sure it sits right in here. So once we have this right now, we'll take off the fill and the border. And over here, we're going to go ahead and reduce this and do this. Oh no, sorry. If I have to do that, I don't have to show gender here. So it has to just be age group. Yep, that is cool. Now, you can click on this one here and do something like this. Interesting. Once I've done that right now, I want to actually give my male gender a different color, my female gender a different color. So for the male gender here, I will go over to here and select something like this. Then for the female gender, I'm going to select something that looks like this. That still inherit the color we have in our dashboard. We don't want to actually push too much colors in. I think it's okay like this, right? So once we have this right now, here we go, we can bring this one in. You might be thinking, but you said we're going to have to use AI. Yes, of course, we're going to use AI later after all, but right now, let us concentrate on this. So quickly, we just have to take off this, and now we just have to go ahead and reduce it like this. Okay. Once we are satiated, just go ahead and turn off the line you have. So now, this is for what? This is the female gender. Let's go check it out. The first one is the female, that is 60%. So we're concentrating on this one, and the female color is this one here. We'll click over here, we go straight up to this particular part, and we choose to use this color. So for this one here, we choose to actually make sure we send it, to blend with the background. I think we're going to choose the color we are using for our background. What color is it? Was it not this one? Yeah, this one here. So once we are cool with this now, we just have to duplicate this and take this one to go down right in here. So now we choose to go with this very one here. So make sure you double click and have this one highlighted before you do that. I think it should be this one. So once you've gotten that, the next thing you have to do is to come over here and select this. So we have this. We don't just put in color, we make sure it communicates something. Once we are done now, the next thing we have to do, let us duplicate either of those ones here, bring it in, resize it, and make sure it sits rightly in here. Put your equal sign. Let's go over to the KPI, no, to the chart, and get in the 60%. Let's go ahead and centralize it in the middle. Okay, so we increase the size. Once done, we match the color. So the color should be something a bit darker for it to pop out. It's too light. Let's go ahead and select this family. Or we can still select the same exact color. Once we have done that, we can click over here now and go to more colors, and we can mix our color ourselves right in here. Sorry, I think I just mistakenly took that off. So we selected a thicker version of it. I don't know why it's wrong with me. Go to more colors. So here, there are several ones. Depends. Can you see? Pay attention to this particular part here. So choose whichever one will work for you. I think I would prefer this particular one here. Click on it and you have something like this. So we duplicate it. Now, duplicate and keep this over here. So once we have this over here, equals, and go over to here and bring this one in. Let us click on this one and apply the same exact formatting and change the color. Interesting. Then if we come over here right now, go and make sure this color matches this color, but that will be too light. So we have to select the thicker color of it. So go down and pick this version. So what about this? Interesting, right? So the next thing you have to do right now is to bring in the title. So let's go ahead and get the title in over here. Keep this right in here. So the title should be like this. Keep this over here. I think I prefer having it this way. This is what we have. Right now, it is time for you to start using AI to get this done right in here. So let's see what we can do about it. Now, it is time for you to actually add insight and recommendation. So the very first part we have to concentrate on is this particular part right in here. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this very part. How do you do that with ease? Click on your window, Shift and S. This will actually pop up for you to actually take a screenshot, right? So if you are using, premium version of Claude, you can actually have access to Claude inside Excel, just like what I have right now. Paste in a screenshot right in here. But one thing that is very important, please, as Claude is working on it, keep saving so that when Claude closes, you can still have it to retain its memory. You understand? So now we're going to be using the same exact thing inside GPT. If you have actually transformed your data in GPT, then please, let's go over here. So I'm going to paste this one in here as well, right? So right now I'm going to record my prompt and copy that same prompt to Claude AI. The data set you have actually cleaned and transformed for me is what I have used to actually create this particular, chart right in here that I've shared with you. What I want right now is for you to actually write insight and recommendation by looking at what I have right in here and take into consideration, the data set you have cleaned. You must have known the column that are involved right in here is department by satisfaction and average wait time. So I want to actually be dynamic. So try as much as you could to make sure this is 100% dynamic. I'm going to be using this inside Claude. So tell Claude to actually connect it with the pivot table that has created this particular, chart for me. So now you yourself, you're going to actually write an Excel function that will do this. But before then, just give me this one first. So I'm going to run this particular prompt here. Transcribe it. I'm not going to use this right here because it's not going to work. But I'll show you how to make it work if you still want to make it work. But just don't worry. So copy this one here. Not copy. Okay. Yeah, copy this one here. Just copy. Let's go back to Excel. And we are here. We paste this one in here. So we tell it to go over and click over here. So I have highlighted that particular part. I'm going to say the highlighted So run this. As you are running this right now, let me help you do something. Just go ahead and do this. Take it up a little bit. So once you have done this, go ahead and Control Shift S. Then take a screenshot. Please watch me as I do this. Take the screenshot that covers all the rows and column. I've taken a screenshot. If you look at my screenshot, I included this particular part here. Those are my column. Those numbers here, those are my rows. They are very important if you want GPT to write something that will be dynamic for you. Now, as Claude is working on its own, and we can go over here, clear off what you have right in here, and paste in this very one again. Now, we can actually write or record a different prompt for GPT to create its own version. You understand? Let us record. The two screenshots I've shared with you has to do with the work I am actually doing inside Microsoft Excel. So the chart that has to do with wait time versus satisfaction by department is what I want to actually create insight right on. So I have shared with you the pivot table I have actually used to actually create that particular chart. So what I want right now is that you should reference the pivot table while creating my insight so that it could be dynamic and respond to Slicer, because that is exactly what I want. You get it right now. So you have access to the column and the row. You can see the top is letters and the left-hand corner is numbers, which is the rows. So if you want to reference it, you know which particular row and column to reference in the pivot table to make it 100% dynamic. So go ahead and actually write an insight and recommendation for me based on the chart you have just seen right now. So that is what you can do. You can just run this and transcribe it. Then you run the prompt and take a look at what it will give you. And let's see if that will be, better than what Claude is going to give to us. Let's just run this. Okay, let's see where the insight is. Okay, let's just check. It hasn't created. Let's go back to chart. So it's asking us two questions. Where should I go? Beside the chart on chart starting at day 20. So day 20, yes. Keep it at the 3 insight plus. So what you can do right now is to say, yes, the 20. And for the second question, yes. Just read it. Depends on what it gives you. You might have something different from what I have right now. You just have to respond to it. You understand? So to go ahead and actually start creating it right in here for you right now. Let us go back to GPT. I think this one is still evaluating it. So we have gotten something from Claude, and GPT has, given us something as well. Oh, this is a lot. Okay, let us go ahead and take a look at what GPT has done and see if this is going to work. I love the let function right here. So let's do this. So GPT version, I'll call this one, yeah, GPT version. So put an equal sign first, paste it in, then hit enter. So remove one equal sign, and there's a problem with what GPT has created. So I'm going to take off this one, and instead let me start my GPT version. So now we have a new one. Let's copy this and get back to GPT. Now we are here. Can Control A to highlight and delete. So paste, we have a new one. Come over here and take off this one. Hit the enter key. Now we have this. Can you see what we have right now? So we might not be able to see it better. What we can do right now to see it rightly is for we to actually insert a card, and from there we can quickly see what it has done for us. So I'm going to put here an equal sign and reference this to take a look at what it is. So here we go. We have something that looks like this. It's not the best, so I think we have issue to fix. So we just have to make sure we locate where we have that particular minutes right in and format it all by ourselves. This is where your own technical knowledge actually comes in. You have to format it. What am I talking about? Let me show you. Over here we have this particular 36.0000, which is 70.000. So that is crazy. So we have to format it. But it has given you a head up to actually, do things like what I'm going to do on my own part here using Claude. So if you don't have Claude, you can actually use that alternative to actually get it done. You get it right now. So I'm going to hide my formula bar for the time being to make sure I have enough space here to be utilized. So I just have to make sure this is what I have. So once I have this, I'm going to put my equal sign and go over to my chart and pick the first one. So here we go. We have this. So we duplicate this, Control D, we bring it down, and equals. We go ahead and pick the second one. So we duplicate the last one here, and that equals again. We go ahead and pick up this very one here. This is everything we need to actually have right in here. So we just have to go straight up to this particular part, and we apply the same thing to this very one. So why is wrong? So here we go. We have our recommendation right in here, and it's going to be dynamic because it's referencing the pivot table. Don't worry. You know what? I have all of this here. I want to write an insight about all this. So just take up this particular part here. So let's go over to Home, then to Claude, and paste it in here. So if I just want to record right now, I can't record because I've pasted it in, but it seems Claude has been busy. It's not working. So we just have to paste this one right in here. So over here, I'm just going to say, look at the whole charts and create a short insight and recommendation for me. Hit the enter key. So Claude will just take care of it.